It's 10:48 p.m. In most countries, school ended hours ago, but in Seoul, the lights are still on. Students in uniforms move quietly through the streets. Some are heading home, others are just arriving for another class. By the time many Korean teenagers finally get back to their apartments, it's already close to midnight, and some still have homework left. South Korea has one of the most intense education systems in the world. That's not really controversial anymore. What's more interesting is why the country built it this way in the first place. Because, for a long time, South Korea believed education was survival, and in many ways, it worked. The Korean War ended in 1953. What it left behind was devastation. Entire cities destroyed, families separated, extreme poverty. At the time, South Korea was not viewed as a future economic power. It had very few natural resources, no oil, no obvious advantage. So the country invested in the only thing it believed it could fully control: human effort. Education became tied to national recovery. Doing well in school wasn't just personal achievement. It became connected to family honor, economic mobility, and the future of the country itself. Over time, academic success became deeply embedded in Korean society. Parents sacrificed for it. Schools prioritized it. Students grew up surrounded by it. And eventually, competition intensified into something much larger than school. For many students in South Korea, the day starts early. Some wake up before sunrise. Regular school might finish in the afternoon, but the day usually doesn't end there. After school, many students attend private academies, known as Hagwons. There are Hagwons for mathematics, English, science, writing, test preparation. Some students move between multiple academies in one evening. In districts known for education, the streets stay busy late into the night. You'll see teenagers carrying backpacks at hours when students in many other countries are already asleep. And after the academies end, there's often still more work waiting at home. Homework, practice tests, memorization, preparation for the next day. Then the cycle repeats again in the morning. One of the strange things about pressure is that people eventually stop noticing how extreme it is. When everyone around you is doing the same thing, it starts to feel normal. A teenager sleeping 5 hours becomes normal. Weekend studying becomes normal. Constant exhaustion becomes normal. And because so many students are competing at the same level, stopping doesn't really feel like an option. There's always someone studying more, someone scoring higher, someone attending another academy, another tutoring session, another practice exam. For students, the pressure isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the feeling that falling behind even slightly could change your future. Not immediately, but eventually. If you're interested in how different societies shape children through education, that's what this channel is about. Not just schools, but the systems behind them. In South Korea, university admissions carry enormous weight, particularly admission into the country's most prestigious universities. For years, getting into a top school has been associated with better jobs, higher income, social status, and long-term stability, which means exams become emotionally charged very early. The most famous is the CSAT exam. Every year, the country treats it with extraordinary seriousness. Air traffic is adjusted to reduce noise. Police officers help late students get to testing centers. Businesses change schedules. The exam becomes a national event, and for students, years of pressure narrow down into a single day. But this is where the conversation becomes complicated. because the system did produce results. South Korea industrialized rapidly. Its economy expanded dramatically. Companies like Samsung and Hyundai became globally recognized. The country transformed itself within a few generations, and many Koreans are proud of that achievement, which creates an uncomfortable tension at the center of the education debate. How do you criticize a system that appears to have succeeded, especially when that success changed millions of lives? Because this is the uncomfortable part. If South Korea had remained poor, people might call this system cruel. If it had failed, people might call it abusive. But it didn't fail. The country became richer, safer, more advanced. Millions of people escaped poverty within a single generation. So, what happens when a system produces extraordinary results, while also exhausting the people inside it? At what point does pressure stop being sacrifice and start becoming something else? And maybe the harder question is this: if another country could guarantee economic success, technological dominance,
네, 캘리브레이션
and
시작합니다.
global influence,
좋아, 다음 단계
but
준비.
only by putting children under relentless pressure, would most governments refuse? Or would they quietly do the same thing? At the same time, there's growing concern about the human cost. South Korean students consistently report high levels of stress and academic pressure. Mental exhaustion has become common enough that many people simply expect it. Some students describe their lives as repetitive: school, academy, home, sleep, repeat. Others talk about feeling emotionally disconnected from the process entirely, not studying because they enjoy learning, but because they're afraid of falling behind. And that fear can start surprisingly young. In some families, private tutoring begins before elementary school. Competition arrives early, and once it begins, it can be difficult to escape. There's also a deeper question underneath all of this. What exactly is education supposed to do? Is it meant to maximize performance, create economic growth, train disciplined workers, help children discover meaning, develop creativity? Different countries answer those questions differently. South Korea's system developed around urgency. The country needed rapid advancement. Efficiency mattered. Results mattered. And in many ways, the system reflected the pressures of the society around it. But younger generations are beginning to question whether endless competition is sustainable, especially when success no longer guarantees stability the way it once seemed to. Housing costs increased, job competition intensified. Many young people feel uncertain about the future, despite doing everything they were told to do. Study hard, work hard, sacrifice now, succeed later. For some people, that promise feels less convincing than it used to. South Korea now has one of the lowest birth rates in the world, and while there are many reasons for that, some people point to the intensity of modern life itself: long working hours, economic pressure, educational competition, the feeling that raising children has become overwhelming. For some young adults, the system that once represented opportunity now feels exhausting before parenthood even begins. Outside South Korea, people often look at the country and see success: advanced technology, efficient infrastructure, global cultural influence, a highly educated population. And all of those things are real. But the quieter reality is that success also shapes the emotional lives of the people inside the system, especially children, especially teenagers, especially students growing up in environments where performance follows them everywhere. And South Korea isn't completely unique. Around the world, more countries are becoming intensely competitive. More testing, more rankings, more pressure to optimize childhood from an early age. The details change depending on the country, but the direction often feels similar, which is why South Korea attracts so much attention. Not just because its education system is intense, but because it raises a question many modern societies are slowly moving toward. How much pressure should children carry in exchange for success?